What is going on? I am zmot. We are here on my iPhone 6. My proper phone, my proper device is bugged right now thanks to a problem with the iOS 14 beta. Don't recommend installing that quite yet. I've been running it forever, but I can't record off it right now. So we're going to record off this huge old phone. I mean, the interface looks huge. The buttons are tiny, so we're going to go ahead and deploy whatever the heck is in our weapon lab. Boom, hotpot level 3. I love it when I plan ahead. I don't even know if there's hotpots in this cycle or not. Let's have a quick look. There is. Okay, so I'm not super duper smart or something like that. Anyways, we are going to do Hammerman attacks. We're going to see if we can't take down all 7 stages of his fleet. But first, we're going to go into Season 14 pretty darn quick here. We're going to claim all our rewards. Sadly, did not get this account into the diamond, which is sad news. Season 13 of Warships, I was not a huge fan. There was not a lot of variety. It was kind of just like everyone doing the same thing and dropping the same troops. So this is my level 19 base I got to with 6 engine rooms. Wasn't really feeling it at all. Managed to get to diamond on my other account, on my zmot, it's not spelled phonetically account. Now we're going to pick up our daily chest and all that fun stuff. One thing to be aware of is in between Warships seasons, the intel is low because people aren't getting those extra intels from the Warships. So make sure you get a little bit extra intel over the next 6 days, 14 hours. Your task force will appreciate it, especially on Thursday. Thursday is just going to be difficult for a bunch of task forces, so the more intel you can get during the week, the better off you are. So if you don't typically do Hammerman's fleet, I would highly suggest throwing some gold towards it early in the week, right about now. Now I've got landing crafts upgrading. We're going all the way up. I've got, I've only got a couple up to 24 at this point on this account because a bunch of them are at 22. Using the trader, highly recommend getting those trader tickets in use. I don't even know. Let's see if we can show them over in here. I think we can see how many I've got in here. 556. So I spent about 200 trader tickets on the weekend getting all the resources required to get those upgrades rockin' and rollin'. Nonetheless, let's load our Hammerman base, get into the fleet discussion. Just a reminder, please consider throwing zmot into your creator boost. It has to happen every 7 days, which is incredibly frustrating. I know I often have to throw my own name in because I forget about it. Even if you don't support me, please throw someone's name in there. Try and make it a habit because it does really benefit us. Over time, it's not a huge benefit, but we do get to see how many people are supporting us, and it gives us that little heart murmur, it makes you feel good. And also there's a little bit of revenue from every purchase you make that goes into there. I don't know if the free diamonds count towards that or not, but it's worth throwing it in there just in case. So stage 1, Hammerman, very easy. Let's keep rolling. I've got something in the middle of my screen that I want to clean off, so we're going to do a quick swipey scroll. My hotpot is at the front right, which not sure if that's the best spot for it, but it should protect our shock launchers, so we're going to leave it there for the time being. Gonna move things around. There is a few tricks to Hammerman's fleet that will definitely help you progress if you don't know them. I'm going to try to cover the basics of them once we get into a little bit harder stage. Now, Hammerman is bringing mechs, so a lot of people were thinking that would make Hammerman harder. I think it makes it easier. Mechs are not a big deal, and I'd rather have mechs than grenadiers or bombardiers or even cryoneers. So all the ears are harder than the mechs. So hopefully we can get all 7 stages very easily and quickly, but really doesn't. It all depends on placement and things. So far we're doing fairly good. That hotpot just wrecking everyone in absolute prime position. So consider throwing your hotpot on the right for the first few stages, but realistically, stages 1 through 4 aren't a big deal. Anyways, man, this device is tiny. Hopefully the video still doesn't look terribly bad, but it's just, I can't believe how small phones used to be. It's crazy. I mean, if you still use a small phone like this, kudos to you. I have always used phones for all of my Boom Beach attacks. A lot of you use tablets. I would I'm very, very much considering going the iPad Pro route. Do you guys say route or route, by the way? Anyways, I think the tablet is the ideal way to not miss shocks, but you can do very, very well on a phone, and I used to attack on this phone all the time. So let me know what device you're using on, playing on, boom beaching on. If you use a tiny little phone like this one, kudos to you, because tough shocks are more difficult the smaller your device, obviously. That hotpot's still going fairly strong. We're actually going to, that boom cannon and shock launcher combo working very, very well together should get this down. That last cannon won't even have to come into play. Rocket launchers, look at this. Last medic down, last rifleman down. Hotpot for the win. Just cruising through these levels so far, but stage 6 is when it starts to get difficult. 576, I can't even read that on my screen because it's so tiny, rifles. So rifle spam coming right up. Our minefield at the back is ready. A couple people have been asking, how did I come up with this hook base? I copied someone just like everyone else out there did. Was originally called the Chinese trap base. It got renamed to the hook base, and people have called it other things. But what you need to do is just lay it out, and then every week make minor changes, and then use the ability to save HQ loadouts. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you in just a second. It's not super duper obvious, but there's a lot of things in Boom Beach kind of just require some clicking to happen. So we need those medics to go down if we're going to have any shot. Look at that. Boom. Not that bad. I kind of love it when stages 1 through 6 are hard, or easy, I should say. And once in a while, it's nice to get kind of nice. But right now, we're trying to save all of our gold. So there's a little bit of a toss-up between spending your gold on Hammerman and saving it for your upgrades, because obviously we're going to get our armory going. As you can see there, I've got my tanks upgrading in preparation for the Mega Crab, which is coming, I believe it's this weekend. I'll have to double check, but like I said, in your headquarters, click on there and you can set up all your different loadouts. As you can see, I have one called Hammerman. I've got one called No Rain. No Rain is my anti-rainmaker, which is actually also anti-tank, anti-lazortron. I have a video on when I created that. Season 14 does not appear to have a name yet. I just noticed that. Hopefully it does. Supercell, if you're out there watching, please throw a name on every season from here on out. I don't know why, but the name just makes it feel complete. Let's have a look, see what Hammerman's going to throw our way. No mechs this time, no bombardiers, no grenadiers. So I think I'm somewhat confident we should be able to get this down. Typically, as long as there's no bombardiers, we should be able to get this down. And the fact those medics are coming right out in front of that hotpot is going to make a huge difference. If you can get your hotpot to get rid of those medics early on, it's going to do nothing but great, great things. So that hotpot being directly in front of where those medics coming out, if you can get rid of medics before they can get over to tanks, you're going to do incredibly well. So we are off to a flying start on stage 7, and we haven't had to do anything fancy or interesting yet. So if we don't have to do anything fancy or interesting, I am all about it. It'll be a little bit sad, but that's all, folks. But I'm totally 100% okay with that. But okay, so we've got all sorts of flamethrowers towards the back doing fairly well. Now, this base is going to be a problem. I have a huge error in my base here. That right-hand side boom cannon just not doing good things for us, which ended up being our demise. So the reason why this boom cannon is off to the side is because last week it was getting barraged, so I move it out into no man's land. That way it gets barraged. All is good in the world, but we're going to move it up over to this side, and that way we don't have to worry about it drawing troops. So what happened on that one is it drew the troops to the right-hand side, and they skipped my minefield, and not good things happened. So now we're going to throw a shock mine right about there. What did I just move? Something just moved, and I don't know what it was. So we're going to have to come back into here, something like that. And let's have a look and see if we can save some gold, because I really, really hate losing all sorts of gold. So we got barrage happening, not really taking out anything, and a shock coming in on that front boom cannon right beside those rocket launchers. So we're going to get rid of that. maybe. It's not super critical because we do manage to get the medics down, but we've also got a shock coming in on that left front cannon. So we're going to get rid of that. That will definitely help improve things because you don't want your buildings being shocked when there's troops right up in their grills. So hopefully now we can get all those troops going over to that left-hand side, getting them following along, grouping up nice and tight, and then they're going to walk all the way through that minefield, just getting absolutely wrecked. But because there's heavies in there, minefield not doing a ton of good. So now we're going to have to swap this over into here, just quickly swapping. That one change is going to make things at least 3% better. Random stats, random numbers, but that cannon not being at the front and being shocked is going to make a big, big difference. We're also going to move this boom cannon so that it's going to be shocked. We're going to move it to the left-hand side. That way these rocket launchers are not going to be shocked at the very beginning. But I'm going to have to spread these out a little bit because I think they're getting barraged all at the same time. So now that that's done, very, very small changes. You'll see that barrage is happening right on top of that shock launcher, I think. That shock is on the left-hand side. So right now, all of a sudden, things are a little bit better. That left-hand side boom cannon was getting shocked and getting barraged, but all of a sudden, the shocks are moved back. This next cannon's going to get shocked in about 5 seconds, I would guess, which is going to not slow us down because everything else is going to do good things. So all you need to do is move a couple things, watch where those, you see that barrage coming in back there? I swear there was a shock coming, but clearly I was mistaken. Doing much better this time. That hot pot's still alive, gonna start burning things, but still, look how many heavies he has. So problems here. Now, a lot of you are saying you like to throw your mines up front. I don't entirely agree on that. Mines up the front, I don't think has as good a success as mines at the back, just because at the front you let your buildings do the damage, and then your mines fill up, clean it up. But I am open to suggestions if you guys feel that is better. I have never had good success with that. I haven't heard of anyone else who's having good success with that, but it is possible, I suppose. So let me know what your thoughts on that are. Now, at this point, we've lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Not super stoked on that. And as you can see here, I have a ton of prototype parts. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to drop down a damage amplifier, only going to cost me 71 diamonds. I'd rather spend my prototype parts than end up with no gold. So gold is at a premium right now, especially in the fact that we've got all sorts of upgrades that are happening right now. So I'm going to drop my damage amplifier in. That's going to amp all sorts of things. Is that going to be amped right there? Yes, it is. Now, one thing to be aware of is you don't want your residents in there. I am often incredibly guilty of that. Make sure your damage amplifier is amplifying as many buildings as you possibly can. You really don't want to amplify things like gold storages, because it doesn't do anything for you. It'd be kind of cool if your damage amplifier could actually amplify your gold storage to store more gold, but it's not going to happen. So shock launchers doing good stuff. Rocket launchers melting things ever so much slightly faster. I also probably should move that damage amplifier slightly forward just to get that hot pot amped. Would make a huge difference, I think, so I'm probably going to move it next to that mortar. Let's speed things up just a little bit. See if we can't get see how our rocket launchers melting Zookas ever so slightly faster, getting those boom cannons access to those tanks slightly faster. There's only so much you can say about Hammerman Fleet. It's not super duper interesting, but it is incredibly difficult, especially if you have 11 offensive statues. I am still not used to saying 11 statues. I'm fairly okay with the fact I managed to pull it out that time. We are not going to get this down this time, though. I think that we're going to have to damage amp that hot pot, which is going to make a big difference. I might even consider moving my hot pot over to the left, just trying to get rid of those medics using rocket launchers instead. Let's give that a shot. We're going to damage amp the hot pot. Come on, man, this device is so laggy and old. Let's move this up into about here. Then we're going to move our hot pot over into here. Machine gun, and that should possibly... I don't save nearly as much as I should. I realistically should have 2 Hammerman bases that I switch back and forth between, like save before each major change, but I'm not super duper great at that. So anyways, Hotpot still in action towards the front, but slightly more to the left, which should be helpful, because hopefully we can get some of those warriors and Zukas and things down. See that Hotpot coming in, getting rid of all of those Zukas incredibly quickly. So that definitely made a big difference. But now this front mortar is getting shocked, which is causing us problems because our Hotpot got knocked down. There is so much going on here. And is it worth the gold for that extra 1 intel? That's going to have to be your choice. I personally end up giving up after 4, 5, 6, 7 tries. I know a lot of people have spent like 35 tries trying to get these things down, and they take it personally, and Hammerman is not going to have a chance against them. Now, right now, Hammerman does not have heroes. Could you imagine if Hammerman had Everspark, for example, being able to clear all those mines? It would be far, far more dangerous, far, far more difficult. Now, we definitely got rid of more tanks this time, but also just so many heavies. So now, next up, we need to make a slight minor change one more time. We're going to move that mortar back, which is going to mean that this Hotpot is not going to be shocked. We're going to try one more time, then I'll pause and come back and show a replay if I manage to get it down. Let's see what he's barraging. So he's barraging that left-hand side boom cannon. We don't care about that. He's barraging that right-hand side shock launcher, which we can't do much about, but we can move that building that's right next to it away, I would say, is probably our next maneuver. And now, critters and shocks at that back cannon, which is okay. That's what we planned on. That is all good in the hood. Let's go, boom cannon. Come on, shock. Come on. Come on, Hotpot. Come on, Hotpot. Just turn. A little bit of a glitchy dance there for that Hotpot. Don't have any boom cannons close enough to get those tanks down, unfortunately, but suddenly the Hotpot's coming in. Commentary on Hammerman fleet. Just not super amazing or awesome. You see how we move that mortar back and all of a sudden our Hotpot's doing far more work. Like way more work for that Hotpot. There's still more troops to come in though. Come on, Hotpot. Keep burning. Look how good that Hotpot is doing. But it's only burning heavies, unfortunately. So not going to have super success, but I think we're doing far better. We're still not going to get it down, though. There's just too many troops, not enough defenses, and that minefield at the back is not going to be enough. I mean, it's looking like we got rid of a lot more heavies. I probably could look at the replay numbers and see what it actually says, but I don't think we're going to have much chance here. I mean, we have a slim chance, but it's not looking super duper. I love watching the minefield wreck troops, but those heavies just coming through like absolute crazy people and just melting the headquarters. So heavies, a massive problem. I didn't even mention them in the previous, talking about cryoneers and bombardiers and stuff. You know what? Let's do one more. I'm just going to throw in Doom Cannon's not going to do much. Hotpot. Let's throw in another Hotpot. What the heck? I don't even care at this point. Let's spend the diamonds. Get into here. We're going to throw this Hotpot right at the very left edge. Right about, let's throw it over there. Now, the problem with throwing an extra defense in is that all of a sudden all of those changes we made are now gonzo. Like they are completely and utterly forgotten because we've added an extra defense. So Hammerman's now going to shock different things and it's not going to be super awesome. So if you're ever going to do Hammerman defense, do consider throwing in your extra prototypes before you get going. Otherwise you're going to have nothing but problems as I'm displaying here. We're going to bring this up. I am going to get full frontal, and we're going to just see what exactly we can do, because that boom cannon at the back is not getting involved nearly as much as I'd like it. So let's just give this a shot. Going back to square zero, all of our barrages and shocks are now going to move to other buildings, which is not awesome, but all of a sudden our shock launcher is not getting barraged, which is going to be slightly helpful for sure. You'll notice we've got 4 boom cannons on that left-hand side, so hopefully that'll help get rid of all sorts of tanks, because those tanks, if we can get rid of the tanks, we can get rid of the heavies. If we can get rid of the heavies, we can get rid of the tanks. Just trying, look at this, we got 4 boom cannons and a cannon keying on those tanks. We don't have all of the Zukas down yet, unfortunately, so Look how much better we're doing with those tanks. But all of a sudden, critters are coming in, and here come the heavies. Probably should put a boom cannon right there where that front cannon is. That would get us a little bit more oomph. Look at this, 2 hot pots, just trying 2 amped hot pots on that. 3, man, I didn't realize Hammerman's throwing so darn many critters. No wonder we're struggling. Like, that was 3 pots of critters all at the same time. How much gunboat energy does Hammerman have? So, this is my last effort. We're going to give one more after this, and if we don't get it down after this, I'm throwing in the towel. This is ridiculous. But we're doing this. I think we've got it this time. It only took a damage amplifier and 2 hot pots, but I think we've got it this time, as long as we've got a sniper tower and 2 flamethrowers back there. So this could be very, very close. I might have to move that sniper tower slightly forward on my next hit, because otherwise we might not be able to range all of the tanks. Just need a little bit of luck with those boom mines. Come on, boom mines, take out a tank right now. There we go, right there. Yes, okay, so now we've got a shot. Flamethrowers and sniper towers. It's going to be incredibly close, but we're not going to get it down. So that boom mine right there needs to be moved over. And once that's done, we definitely have a shot. This is not pretty. This is frustrating, but it's a different mode, and I don't know. I find that either you like Hammerman Defense or you hate it. I am in the group of people that likes it sometimes and hates it other times, if that makes any sense. Now that that's done, I have completely forgotten everything else we're supposed to be doing right now. I've basically got a 1-track mind. We have spent a ton of gold on this. Hopefully this takes it down. Probably should have moved that rocket launcher away, because look at it's getting barraged, and it actually gets taken down by the barrage. So having it in tight there, not doing anything useful for us. That's going to be my next move. Otherwise, look how many critters Hammerman throws. It is ridiculous how many. Like, they're just coming in hot and heavy, and our boom cannons not getting... I feel like we've done way worse on that attack somehow. Not entirely sure what the heck got worse about it, but I feel like that was way worse. And that is one of the frustrating things about Hammerman, is it's all about the RNG. Suddenly you'll change nothing and take it down, all because his barrage isn't as good, or your rocket launchers, one of their 15 rockets misses, or whatever it might be. So speaking of little tricks, we're going to move that rocket launcher out. We're going to move these rocket launchers slightly further left, just trying to get rid of those Zookas on the left-hand side slightly, ever so slightly faster. Also going to move machine guns over into here, because we just want to melt things as fast as we can on that left-hand side. Flamethrower, going to get the bigger of the 2 amped, even though it's not actually amped. It just looked like it was amped. Frustrating a little bit. Damage amplifiers showing things being amplified when they're actually not. Let's just keep going. I have wasted a bunch of gold at this point, but my upgrade's got a couple days left on it, so not a big deal. You see that barrage back there, not damaging anything else. Move those defenses back into no man's land, into a DMZ, DMZ, whatever you want to call it. For some reason, I call it a DMZ. Also the DMV, we don't actually have a DMV in Canada, but you get the basic idea. So now, need to get rid of these warriors and those Zookas as fast as we can, so that our boom cannons can get to work. There we go, boom cannons getting into work. They're still hitting those darn Zookas. Tempted to move a rocket launcher over to that left side, because right now our boom cannon's just not getting enough oomph. They're just shooting Zookas, which is not ideal whatsoever. So possibly we need to move that damage amplifier over to the left-hand side, try and get rid of those Zookas a little bit faster. But this one's looking fairly... I don't think we're going to get it, though. There's just too many heavies there, and the heavies just burn through those mines just so incredibly easily. Like, they just walk over the mines like they don't exist. It's kind of like the heavy rush in warships, and it's frustrating to say the least. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our damage amplifier over to the left. We're going to move our rocket launchers as far to the left as we possibly can. Just trying to get rid of those left-hand side Zookas, I think, will make a big difference. And we're also going to move a shock launcher over there, just trying our darndest to get all sorts of damage. This right-hand side isn't really troubling us, but that left-hand side is causing nothing but problems. So let's give that a shot. Oh, so many changes every week, moving things right, moving things left, and it just makes such a big difference as far as which side you set up on. And this right-hand side not really causing us any problems, but that left-hand side definitely is. So the faster we can get rid of all of those Zookas, the faster that our boom cannons can get. Look how many tanks we've gotten rid of already. Just ruining. We got rid of all of the tanks except for one that time, all by moving our rocket launchers to the left-hand side. So I feel like that was a key component here that I just avoided for so long. And look, like all of a sudden, things are so much easier, all by moving our rocket launchers to the left-hand side. So hopefully you stuck around till the end, because it was such a simple change. That right-hand side was so easy, and we were just ignoring that left-hand side. So dumb by me. Just oversight after oversight. Anyways, hopefully you figured something out during that. If not, you were entertained, laughing at my absolute ridiculousness and mistakes and all of that. Otherwise, this is Monday, August 24th. Make sure you pick up that intel, because your task force is going to be dying for it come Thursday or so. Speaking of task forces, please do check out the description of the video below. We've got some key openings. We'd love to have you come join. You don't have to be a beast player. You just have to be open to learning and chatting, and we're a very social group. So come chat, come hang out, and otherwise, keep booming those beaches. I'm zmot. Please do stick around. Check out the list of Patreons at the end. If you want to become a Patreon, get your name in the glowing lights. That's also in the description. Anyways, that's all for now. I'm zmot. Keep booming those beaches. I've said that twice now. Thanks for coming in. Peace.